Today I'm talking about God alone. Now, many of us have felt alone at times through this shelter-in-place time. Some of us haven't been able to get out and see our friends or connect with people. I know one of the things I really miss is hugs. When we would gather here in this sanctuary and afterwards, people would hug. This is a very loving spiritual community, and I miss that. And I miss the closeness of people. Yeah, I'm still meeting online with people and talking with them on the phone, and I love that, but it's not quite the same. And during this time of aloneness and going through this kind of wilderness experience, which I talked about last week, it's been a time for me and an opportunity for many to go deeper, to really think about what is my life really about? What am I here to do? Who am I? When everything gets stripped down, when things are changing all around us, when jobs are changing, when hours are reduced, when there may be changes economically, who am I? What am I really? And what is this all about? What is my purpose? If you're not asking those questions, then perhaps you're in a very comfortable space. But I would invite you to go into this deep dive with me. I would invite you to not waste this time that we're going through right now and to use this time as a means of going deeper into our spiritual journey. I firmly believe and know in my own spirit that I am here for God alone. And what I mean by that is that when I pursue happiness, it eludes me. Because how do you pursue happiness? I mean, you might try to pursue material things or events that might make you happy, but they're very transitory. They come and then they go. They're here for just a little while and then they're gone. I remember my best friend who bought a motorcycle, and for maybe a couple weeks or a month, he felt really good about his motorcycle, and then the news started wearing off. Our minds tend to work like that because these are very transitory things that often we try to fill our lives with. But when everything is being stripped down in a time like this is a time for us to think about what is enduring, what is real, what is it that I can really ground myself in? What is my source? My answer is God alone. Only God. Or as Michael Beckwith says, the minister at Agape Spiritual Center, we are only here for God. Now, some of you may be having flashbacks at this moment. I don't know. I've talked to people who grew up in Catholic schools, and hearing about being here for God felt like something punitive. But I am talking about the fact that we are here for that which is enduring. When I am serving, loving, going through my day, and doing it for God, I find that I experience happiness without making happiness the object of my search. When I am serving God alone, I find bliss because it's my true nature to experience bliss. I don't believe I'm alone in this. Vedic scriptures say that we're Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. When we remove some of those transitory things, we can get to our true nature. To serve God alone is to see God in all things, to see that divine presence. Perhaps you know the term presence. Can you see that presence wherever you are, in all people, in all situations, in yourself? Can you see yourself being the self-livingness of that presence? Can you see yourself being the expression of that presence? Paul in Acts chapter 17 says, in God we live, move, and have our being. Eric Butterworth, famous author, unity minister, says that we are the inlet and outlet to all there is in God. In other words, imagine the ocean and imagine San Francisco Bay. And so you have this bay that is made up of all the qualities of the ocean. It's individualized and manifested in a particular area, but it has all the qualities of the ocean. That is what Eric Butterworth says we are. We are that inlet, that bay, that individualization of all there is in God. We are that presence. So when I am serving God, when I am keeping God before me, when I am seeing that presence, that light, that beauty, that peace, that creativity, that imagination, that vision, when I am keeping that presence of God before me and serving that, I do not get tired. I do not get worried. I do not get afraid, because none of those things have anything to do with me. I was on a Zoom call with somebody recently. We have a Sangha, and we were meeting together. And one of these people, in response to the COVID-19 situation, says, "It has nothing to do with me." What a remarkable statement. It has nothing to do with me. Now, that doesn't mean ignoring taking proper precautions. I brought my mask with me today. That doesn't mean that we don't keep that physical distance. It doesn't mean that we don't have compassion for the things going on in the world. But when we get down to what we really are, we are not COVID-19. We are not economic loss. We are not fear. We are not contagion, not in a bad way, at least. That is not what we are. That is not what God is. Since we are the inlet and the outlet of all there is in God, then what is it that we are afraid of? Yes, we need to take proper precautions. Yes, we need to listen to our health experts. But I do not believe in living in fear. If that's a requirement, sorry, I'm not going to do it. Because fear is not what I am. Lack is not what I am. What am I? I am the inlet and outlet of all there is in God. The abundance, the health, the peace, the bliss, the joy, because I am and you are that individualization of all there is in God. Another metaphor that Eric Butterworth uses for this is, again, the ocean. And I love the ocean. I don't know how I lived so long away from the ocean. And when I go to the ocean, I love to see the waves coming in. Now, a wave has all the qualities of the ocean. I mean, it has the same components, the same plankton, the same chemical makeup as the ocean. But it is an individualized expression of the ocean. In the same way, you and me are individualized expressions of God. Isn't that amazing? Just let that sink in. In Psalms 139, the psalmist says, if I go to the heavens, you are there. If I go to the depths of the earth, to the grave, you are there. Again, as Eric Butterworth says, there is no spot where God is not. Everywhere we are, God is. That means that we are the expression, the outpicturing of that presence. So when I serve God, and I do, I'm in this to serve God. That's why I do what I do. That's why I interact with people in loving ways, because I am here to serve God. When I do that, my fear comes down, my anxiety comes down, my worry comes down, because I get in alignment with my true being. I get into alignment with what God is. And I find that there is no distinction between me and that. I am an individualized expression, as are you, of that presence. We hear so much on the news about things that make us scared, and we forget who we are. Again, I was in a Sangha call. A Sangha is a spiritual group that meets together. I was on a Sangha call, and we were looking at a story from Vedic scriptures, which talks about the king of heaven, Indra. Indra is a very high exalted being. And yet, Indra still has, some issues. And so in this story, Indra did something that offended another powerful being, and he was cursed. And so Indra went from being the king of heaven to being a pig. Being a pig in a pig lot. Now, you might think that Indra was very dissatisfied, but no. Indra thought he was a pig. Indra found a very good pig wife and loved his pig wife and thought, oh, how cute she is. What a cute snout she has. And they had little piglets. And this pig, Indra, was very proud of his pig family. And he would roll in the dirt and eat the garbage and eat the stuff that was available for the pigs to eat. And he was happy as a pig. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact is, he wasn't a pig. He had forgotten who he was. And so this spiritual person by the name of Narada Muni shows up and says, you're not a pig. You're the king of heaven. And Indra's like, what are you talking about? I'm just a pig. Here's my cute pig wife, see, and my little piglet family. He had forgotten who he was. And you could hear in the distance the farmer sharpening his knife. And this part's kind of sad. Sharpening his knife to kill the pig family. Indra still didn't get it. And he started seeing the different members of his family being killed off. Eventually, Indra woke up and realized who he was. This is a beautiful image for what many of us go through. We go through life thinking, I'm just this or I'm just that. I'm this person that lives on such and such a street, that has such and such a name, that has a such and such a body. I have this kind of job. I have this family. I'm surrounded with this whole shelter-in-place COVID-19 thing. I'm looking at my finances, and we begin to think that that's what we are. And we've forgotten, like Indra. What you are is beyond what many of you have ever imagined. Can you see yourself as that inlet and outlet of all there is in God? Can you see yourself as that individualized expression of God, of what God is? When you see yourself in that light, you see that all things are possible to them who believe, as Jesus said. As Jesus said, be it done to you according to your belief. The reason he said that was that Jesus understood what we were. Jesus came to help wake us up. It's time to wake up. Don't fall into the illusion of fear and anxiety and worry. Let us have a contagion of faith. Let us have a contagion of waking up and realizing what we really are. We are here for God alone because we are the expression of God alone. You are that. So when you live from that, you naturally experience the bliss, the peace, the beauty, the imagination, the energy that God is. But when we get lost in the illusion of this world, that is when we begin to come down. I encourage you to faith it, to lift up your faith, to not get your eyes settled on all the circumstances. Jesus, in the Gospel of John, said, judge not according to appearances. Judge not according to appearances. Remember this when you watch the news. But judge with righteous judgment. That is, judge with that righteous judgment, that presence of God living itself as us. Live in that power. That is our protection. That is our peace. That is our purpose. That is what we are here to do. Thank you for watching. And if you have found this message helpful, please share it. If you're on Facebook, would you please share our services, our messages with others, with friends? If you're on YouTube, would you share it? Would you tell others about it? Let's help others to wake up to the faith that we are the inlet and the outlet of all there is in God. Amen. And now for our time of affirmations. I encourage you to repeat after me, right where you are. Maybe there's someone there with you. Maybe you want to stand and join hands and say this together to really anchor this in faith. I am the inlet and the outlet of all there is in God. Where I am, God is. Everywhere I am, God is. There is no spot where God is not. I am an expression of all there is in God. And so it is. Amen.